Wow, Day. Hello, mate. Nah, for real. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Anytime Anywhere podcast, where you're liable to hear anything at any given time. I am the host of this thing, Jaleesa'Kayla. Happy Saturday. Happy, well, it's really, I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be transparent. It's Friday. But when y'all hear this, it's gonna be on a Saturday. I mean, if you listen on the day it drops. If not, then it could be any day. You know what I'm saying? But in my world where I am right now, because this is the Anytime Anywhere podcast, I'm currently trying to exit off of 329. But yeah, traffic is trafficking this morning. But yeah, it's Friday. So happy Friday, happy Saturday, happy Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Whenever you hear this, I trust that it's the right time. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome if you're new, and welcome back. I've been seeing y'all listen. The average Joe Schmo podcaster who's doing crazy numbers would be like 33. I just seen 33. Would say that, I don't know what they'll say. However, I recognize those of you who have been coming back. I see you. You know, you're not making a lot of noise. You open the door, you peek your head in, but I see you. So thank you to all of you who have been returning, and thank you to those of you who are new who just was like, let me see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all. They so rude with the noise. Like they can't tell I'm trying to record a podcast. Like it blows me every time. But yeah, happy Friday, y'all. Shout out to every one of you that have gotten paid today. And a huge shout out to those of you who figured out how to get paid every day. Okay? Every day is a day for abundance and prosperity and for newness, new money, new love, new discipline, new ways of renewing and becoming. Speaking of renewing and becoming, I was thinking about how over a certain period of time, now I've done this through different periods in my life. However, I want to say the last 5 to 7 years, I've been making huge strides in changing the trajectory of my life. I've been making huge strides in like transforming karma. Not all of it is karma, but a lot of it is karma. I've been making huge strides when it comes to getting back to self and just renewing and change, like I said, alchemizing karma. And yeah, just not staying stagnant in how I used to be, which is a goal. Even if we don't know that's the goal, every day, every week, maybe even every month or every birthday or whatever, a lot of us have goals to do things differently, to not spend the next year like how we spent the last year. Not saying that anything was wrong with how we've been spending our time and how we've been living our life. However, it's just like, I feel like growth and expansion and change is inevitable if you allow it to be in your life. So it's just like, yeah, I always want to be better than I was yesterday. Not to demonize my past, because my past helped me be who I am today, and gave me the need to what to do better, to what to be better. You know what I'm saying? Based on different outcomes and experiences that I've gone through in life, it's propelled me and been a catalyst for my change. But something that I've realized that during different periods of change that I've battled with in the past was feeling like I was betraying those people closest to me while going through said change. And what I mean is, like, if I'm known, this is just an example, if I'm known for clubbing every weekend and I'm with my friends and I'm with my cousins or my siblings or whomever that I'm used to going out with every weekend, And then something in me, you know, more than likely, without a doubt, is the Most High that's within me that says, yeah, this isn't fitting for you anymore. It's time to change. And I make that change. I could do it over time, or it could be a drastic change where I just go cold turkey. Mind you, I'm going out every weekend. And then I just reach this plateau where I'm like, you know what? I'm just stopping. Like, it ain't no one more last hoorah and everybody knows. It's like, okay, I went out last weekend and everybody knows that this weekend coming up, same thing, same routine, same show. Or what you wearing? Who getting the bottles? I got the bottle. I got the hookah. Who got the Like, we know this is a thing every weekend, so it's really nothing to talk about. It's just what you wearing, what time we meeting, and who's getting what bottles, and what house are we pre-gaming at? You know what I'm saying? That kind of vibe. We was on that last weekend. We're on that this weekend. But if I just decide to go cold turkey this weekend and I don't give any explanation and I just don't pop up, I don't respond to the group chat. And when they ask, I'm like, yeah, y'all, I'm not going. It could feel like I'm betraying those people that I'm used to doing that with, those individuals that I'm used to being on that frequency with. And through different changes, I would feel like, although me changing was best for me, oh, shout out to this person for letting us go. Although that change was best for me, however, I feel like I'm doing something wrong by leaving them behind. You know what I'm saying? And they can change with me at any time. How likely that is to happen? No, I would say, to be fair, it's like a 50-50 chance, because, when you change, you can inspire other people to make healthier changes as well. But they don't have to. Just because I'm making a change and I feel like it's what's best for me doesn't mean that they have to. So without them even saying anything at first or responding to me changing, I'm already instantly feeling like, damn, I'm doing something wrong by not doing, what we used to do anymore. I'm not going to the clubs. I'm not a part of the clique. I'm not a part of the group. And I had to learn how to get out of that, and really, like, dig deep as to why I was feeling that way. And I feel like a huge part of it is because, those of us who have those people pleasing tendencies, anytime you're not doing what you feel is best for the crowd or the collective or the group or the gang, you know what I'm saying? Anytime you taking your energy away from where groups of people, or more than two people, shit, sometimes even more than one. It could just be one person. Anytime you're taking your energy away or taking away from them what you provide and what's a benefit for them, you can feel like you're doing something wrong. You can feel like you're doing a disservice to humanity. Now, we know that going out every weekend is not necessarily healthy. However, it's fun. It takes our minds off the bullshit that we've been dealing with. It allows us the time to get fine as fuck and, turn up and play all the tricks of the trade with the guys, and with the elements that help you have a good time, like bottle service, and depending on what your vices are, having a little smoke, having a little hookah, it just, all of that, right? I just felt during different times, like I said, this is just an example because I've never been an every weekend type of girl. Even when I had my best friend that I would go out with consistently, our consistently was like maybe once a month, possibly twice a month. If we was having it our way, once a month for sure, twice a month if we was really showing the fuck out. And don't let us be going out of town. Like, Miami used to be our shit, but I was never an every weekend type of girl. I'm just using this as an example. But, place it where it applies for you. There's been other things, like even just loaning people money, or, being a financial support to someone. Anytime you take that energy away and you say, hey, like, I'm being frivolous with my money, I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, or I am loaning money that I actually need, And when it's time for me to collect on that loan, they not hitting the mark. The people that I've allowed to borrow, they're not hitting the mark. So now I'm behind on my bill, or my account is being overdraft to pay my bills because they didn't give me the money back when they said they was going to give me the money back. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. And you just tell yourself, you know what? I need to be more disciplined with my money. I need to be in love with the money, be faithful with the money and my finances, and I have to cut off loaning out money. It could be any example, right? It's just the fact that you feel like you're doing something wrong by doing for you, doing what's best for you. Because like I said, the collective won't be pleased. Those people that benefited from you always giving, when you didn't have, or when you actually needed the money back, that's why they tell you don't loan out anything that you need back. Because if you need that back, you already in the hole again, because now your account is getting overdraft if these motherfuckers don't give you money back on time. Like, so you start to be more disciplined with your finances, and it's like, no, I can't loan. You know what I'm saying? I can't loan for a good year. Or whatever. Whatever the thing is that you're normally giving or being to people, when you remove yourself from that position, you can feel like you're doing wrong to them. And like I said, for many of us, it came from a place of being a people pleaser, wanting everybody to feel good, wanting everybody to feel supported and things of that nature. But you realize, like, this specific thing, whatever it may be, isn't what's best for me right now. So I have to stop, How rude. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that sort of thing. And like I said, it comes from a place of wanting to satisfy others and putting yourself last. And even if you are being satisfied in the midst of it, it's not aligned now. You're being called to higher heights. You're being called to be more disciplined. You're being called to release this thing or stop this thing. But like I said, it can feel like you're doing something wrong. So for me, I had to really get in touch with myself and figure out why I was feeling that way, and then come to terms with, you know what? A lot of the way I was showing up, like, once I removed said benefit from the collective, it was like, damn, I'm not seeing y'all as much. We don't relate on as much as we used to. A lot of shit has slowed up, which sometimes is a given, because again, if you have these group of friends that all y'all really do is just go out every weekend, y'all don't really hang out outside of that. You can't really call on them when you need spiritual support or you're going through, tough times. They're just there for having fun. That wasn't their place ever. But then it's like, damn, just because that was never your place, I love you, I care about you, I kind of still want you in my life. So what needs to happen? And I was just thinking to myself, like, you know what? I'm not going to apologize for wanting better for myself. And I'm not going to feel bad for removing myself from places and for releasing habits that no longer are in alignment with my life. But what I can offer to you and to anyone else who I'm no longer in relation to in said way that I had to release, like, how about you get to know me in different spaces? How about you find a different way to relate to me? And I'll do my part too. I'm not just saying like, oh, y'all gotta bend to what I want and what I need. But how about, instead of calling this off altogether, we find a new way to relate. We find a new way to, be in proximity to each other. We find a new way to enjoy life outside of how we used to. But you'll see who's likely to want to do that. Who wants to put in the effort to actually still be in your life and accept the changes that you're making, accept the things that you released. Although they may still do it, they respect you and still appreciate you enough to say, you know what, I love this person. They weren't just that benefit to me, or they didn't just provide said thing to me. Like, I really enjoy them as a person outside of that. And maybe it had to be something that they realized in that moment, like, damn, they aren't just, the fun turn up girl. They aren't just the one in the group that's responsible for buying the bottles or responsible for making sure the shisha and the tips is on deck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really want to get to know them if I haven't outside of that. I really appreciate their essence. You know what I'm saying? Not in a way that I'm trying to use them, but in a way where it's like, I love our sisterhood, regardless of whether you turn Turk or, you take your Shahada or, I don't know, whatever changes that you make, I still want to be involved in your life and I still appreciate you as a person. And that's how you know where you belong. That's how you know people are in alignment, even if they're not doing the exact same things that you're doing, which they don't have to. You know what I'm saying? But it's just all about finding a new way to relate, finding other ways to appreciate someone's essence, finding a new way to, yeah, like I said, just relate to people, and you, the person who's making a change, not feel guilty, not feel like you're doing anybody else a disservice by doing what's best for you. And I've put out that prayer numerous times, like, you know what I'm saying? Allow whatever changes go on with me to benefit the whole. Nobody needs to know that I'm making those prayers. Nobody needs to know that I'm putting the energy out there. However, that's how I go about it. And what remains and makes sense remains and makes sense, and what doesn't, fizzles off. And when I started making changes, like I said, I've been on this journey for like 5 to 7 years. When I really started being aware of what was going on in the loop that I was in, I was like, okay, this needs to end, that needs to end, this needs to change, this needs to shift. And then I realized, damn near everybody, like, everybody was removed from my life. And I'm like, fuck, you shouldn't be. Like, forget the prayer that I put out about it being best for everyone. Because even those people, leaving my life completely, it was still what was best for everyone, because they get what they want. If me making a change doesn't fit their lifestyle and the friends that they want and the family members that they want to hang out with or be close to, or the girl that they see themselves dating, then it's still what's best for everyone. It's just not always going to look how we think. Like, when you initially put a prayer out there like that, you're thinking like, okay, it's going to be best for everyone. They're going to realize that, this is a good thing, and we'll all find new ways to, make changes together and blah, blah, blah. No, babe. A lot of the times it could look like